Hello, friends. This is E. Giuliano. It is a Thursday. It is the 3rd of February, 2022. So we are into the second month, and I'm here to share with you an update about the Bitcoin price chart. So I'm going to jump right into it. And yeah, I hope this finds you well. Interesting price action on Varus, and I'll leave that up to you to do more digging around that. But when it comes to the Bitcoin price chart, I figured it's been a few days, and I'll just take a look and see where we seem to be. If anything, what sort of thought process is going on. Let's start out with the weekly. I think will be good to just get going from there. Okay, a little bit slow on that uptake. Here we go. Okay. So this A plus C equals B is looks like it's done for now. We are beyond that, and it's nice to be in this zone. I'm just going to get rid of that noise right now. We still have this ratio. A is 38.2, B is 1, and C is 61.8. And that might have a little bit more nuance in terms of where these waves begin and end. We have after that the move up equals the move down. So we're not quite into that zone yet. On a weekly time frame, okay, what has happened? It looks like this zone, okay, is being tested. So I'm guessing there's a potential for retracement, and then we can make that final leg down. That's the sense that I'm getting overall, because before that it was about this zone here. Okay, this zone gets tested back to the top, came back down. Now this zone is getting tested back to the top, maybe. That's my guess. So we still have a bit of time to get there. So yeah, so let's see. That's the general sense. Of course, it might just go sideways here and keep dumping down further. That's always the possibility, sure. Okay, but that's the general idea so far. Okay, so then the next level down would be the daily. And on the daily price chart, we start to get some nice action. The concern about turning over and into negative momentum says maybe that idea of going up back to these level here is not going to happen yet. Maybe it needs to keep coming down further. Now the next question becomes like, yeah, what are we looking at here on the daily? Is it some sort of move up, retrace, and then continued move up to this levels? Or was this move enough? Was that move to there enough, and it satisfied these zones here, and and this zone here? So on a daily, so that's possible. That makes it weaker and less clear about, like, are these levels even going to hold in this intermediate term before we go up? Like, are we going up to this level first around the 40 to 43K, or are we first going down to test again the like 34, 33K level before having the move up to the whichever next level it will be? So yeah, that's on a daily. I still think a deserved test back to this type of level here. Okay, so I don't know why it's all laggy, but that's just what's happening. I think something towards there, and then another dump to finalize this whole move, to get the price down towards these levels, to make people think it's going even lower, but not to go lower, and then to have a significant retrace back. Now, is that exactly what's going to happen? I don't know, but that's still the same thesis that I was working with before, we were looking at before. So it's still possible. Now, here's the thing though, that this is all based on an ABC count with the C wave having this impulsive 1, 2, 3. We're in a 4, and then looking for a 5 to end off the C type of a move. But remember, it could be not a flat pattern correction wave, okay? And the other thing is this thing just channels very nicely after this wick here and this move to this potential 3. It channels very, very nicely. Now, if we want to be a little more exact on these, we play it like that or something, and say, yeah, this, okay, it has a diagonalization. It does have what I like about it. But so here's the thing, like I can see it just, even if it goes up, I could see it failing here at this type of level for sure. And then, but if it can just end between the two channel lines, then that is a good possibility for a strong move out. The other option though is it allows for, yeah, like I don't like that it would be touching here, so we would, well, we could come out of it and then come down, right? So that you still make a lower low, or a low around this low. Okay, it doesn't even have to be a lower low. We'll see what we're working with. And that way, it signals, oh, we're out of the channel, it's going to go up, and then boom, no, it doesn't go up. And in fact, it maybe even makes a lower low. So there's those options. And that seems to happen a lot after you break out of a channel. You come back and test it. So that could be the way that this one works as well. So those are some of the ideas so far. Of course, a big idea as well is just to break all of this down, regardless of even if you touch that or do whatever. Okay, that's also a big idea people are playing with. Okay, yeah. And it has to be respected, of course, because who's to say that the count is correct? And even if the count is correct, maybe it's not correct to enough of a degree to, to see that actually the fifth wave is going out here. Now, if you want to see more of the thinking about why this is, then it would really invalidate a lot of this count. Of course, that's fine. But in that case, yeah, based on this count, it wouldn't be going that far. Our expectation here would be somewhere here, okay, anywhere, and we have it laid out on another time frame, but anywhere like this would be pretty solid. Okay, and of course this feels like it would be a little too long. It would take too long. I could see, yeah, like just the fourth wave can't, okay, so we're going to look at some time. So anyway, that's a decent zone for the final capitulative move. Is this it? Are we saying, so here's the other question. Is it like this? Possible, but my guess is going to be no. We're going to do a little bit of checking. We're going to check by looking at comparing this two wave with this whatever time it would be here. We'll also check this impulsive wave compared to this potential fourth wave. Like what would it look like? Okay, so let's do that. We'll do it from a daily level. Let's expand our minds and our horizons and practice some technical analysis further. Okay, so yeah, the other thing to watch is like what kind of divergence could we start to build here on an RSI scenario? What's happening? Are we going to go up first and then come back down? Like whatever, we'll see. Okay, now let's go to just look at the chart itself here. Take price action. Take the time tool here, this one right here. And we'll measure first this wave compared to what's coming. So we're going to say it started going down here, and our 0 to 2 is about here. We're going wick to wick on these ones, so that's fine. And we started going down here, so we'll keep it like that. So 1 to 1, sorry for any confusions, but this purple line here is a 1 to 1. So if this wave here in time were to equal this wave here in time, it would take us to about here. Okay, so that's, I mean, in the time space, it could be anywhere there. Okay, that it would, you know, this would be it. Maybe the price is down here, I don't know, but 1 to 1 is this width right here. Okay, 2 to 1 would bring it all the way to March. So 1 to 1 is around 17th of February. So we could be having some chop and then some move up if we're going to make some form of move higher, move lower, move higher than that. Okay, and what we'll do too is we'll take some price levels after that. So that's a time comparison, okay, with the previous 2 wave here of the same degree. Let's look at let's look at this 3 wave compared to a potential 4 wave with the time tool. So from the 2 starts going up, so we'll just start here and end it right here where it starts going down, and oops, keeping it there. What just happened? So we're going to get rid of this one. So for here, 1 to 1 is here. So we you know, we're looking for it to be 1 to 1. That would be around 21st of February. We want it to be 1 to 1 at least, like, because it should, I mean, ideally it might even be longer than that. That's where we start getting some questions. So if we compare the 2 to the 1, oops. We just move that, there you go. It was like just about 1 to 1, maybe 1 tick less, whatever, just roughly, okay? Which is not super clean in terms of corrections and impulses. Like the fact that these are so close together in length, like that just starts breaking down the idea that this is actually an impulse. So yeah, there could be something different at play here. But anyway, nevertheless, so far it's suiting our purposes. Now, let's move in a little more closely and say what could be building here, and what kind of levels we might be looking at. Firstly, if we take a retracement of this 3 wave, it would roughly be a 61.8% retracement, would roughly be at 44,000, okay? 50 is around 42,000. So anywhere between 42 and 44 would be a great target for a retracement, especially if the market is slowing down and going to turn around on a big significant level, because now we're on a big degree of an ABC flat pattern. So we would expect the momentum to start turning enough. So that would be decent. Now, having said that, then you start changing, you know, what this even looks like. Then you start getting an expanded situation here where, you know, we'll see what it looks like. But yeah, if you're looking for a pure channel, you know, you're not going much farther than that in terms of a 2 to 4 trend line, like a parallel channel, what I meant as a pure channel. So anyway, that'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm fascinated by it. Okay. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to just continue with a few more ideas here. I'm just going to move this out to the side though, in search of a 4. We're going to actually what we'll do is we'll keep a different one for now. 0 to 2 trend line can stay there, and we're going to start building some sort of 2 to 4 trend line. Where is it going to be? We don't know. Okay. Now let's get rid of some of this time talk. Oh, wait, let me just make sure that we cleared that up. So around the mid to end of February, we had said 17th, we had said 21st. So that's kind of a time frame to look out for in terms of a turnaround to the downside. But then again, none of these time things are guaranteed. Just because it's 1-to-1 here, or we want it to be 1-to-1 at least, doesn't mean it can't be 161.8, which brings us into March. And a 2-to-1 would be at the end of March. So there's that. There is that. It could give us a slow grind sideways before the next dump, and then turn around fast. If this is still what we're seeing, a relatively type of flat pattern here. So we're going to see how that plays out. Okay, so now let's look at those levels a little bit closer. But first, so we looked at the retracement of this 3-wave. I would like to look at, oops. I would, okay. So we're going to go into the 4-hour time frame. And we're going to look at this move here and say what's building. So one look was potentially on the daily is a type of move up, move down, and move up. Okay. In fact, that would be great. That would be a nice zigzag into a 4, and who knows what type of other moves it would make. But when we look at it, you know, wick to wick, we start to see on an extension pattern, we start to look at this 42 to, well, it goes 46 at the 161.8, but definitely like around that 42 level. And if it's going to be weaker, it's around a 78.6, is at around 41,000. So yeah, this general zone here where you go up, down, and up, that could be a nice little target. That could make it quicker. So we're going to look here some more time targets as well. But before that, let's look at where could it retrace. So this low to high would roughly be retracing at 35K is a 61.8. So if it is going to kind of zigzag itself, then we're looking at 35,400 as roughly a zone where we don't want to see it really go down below. Otherwise, then we start getting into more of a flat territory, or we get to something else where we're even going to retrace it more than 100%. So like lower than where it came from. So yeah, so we're looking for this level to hold here, this 35,400 type of level. And then, oops. And then we are looking to, we're looking to have that extension reach around that 42 zone here. Now, in terms of time frame, we're going to go to the 4-hour because I'm going to say, look, interesting move here. This is your move from this green candle up to here would be like an A, and then we would be working out a whole B right now. We'd be within this B wherever that's going to go, and then we'd make our C. We set around to like 42 or something like that, which would be roughly 1-to-1. When we go in there, we come in there, we take this move here, and we say, even if it's coming from around here or there, that's about 1-to-1. And we end up breaking this previous 2 to 4 trend line, the purple one. at that point. So that's interesting, but we start meeting the 0 to 2 trend line itself here, the red one. Now, where could we be retracing? So for example, like that's the idea where this is some sort of, no, this is not the right degree, okay? We're doing some sort of zigzag, and the B wave itself is made up, since it's a 3, okay, since the B wave is a 3, we could get some sort of, oops, we're gonna get some sort of, so we're kind of like down here, okay, we're at like sub minuet, and then here we're gonna go, I don't know if it's exactly sub minuet, but minuet, and we will not show the wave there. Okay, so we have this ABC that we're looking for within the B wave to create the B wave, because the B wave of a zigzag should be a 3, the A should be a 5, the B should be a 3, the C should be a 5. Now we're pushing a little bit the time of this ABC for the B wave. That's kind of pushing it a bit, because this A wave compared to this B wave seems a little short. But anyway, we'll see if it fits. We'll watch. I mean, it'll be coming along soon. We'll know soon enough. Now, if that's the case, this would be some sort of flat pattern, because you see that that the A would have been retraced by the B significantly, even higher maybe. So in that case, we'll look into it a bit more and say, all right, potentially, what are we looking at? Let's retrace the B wave. We're going to use a fib retracement tool and say the B wave starts here and goes here. When I say that, I mean the smaller B wave. That B wave. Okay, so this B wave, all right, if we retrace it, that's what we've done here. Okay, I've taken the retracement tool from the beginning of the B wave to the end of the B wave. We're retracing it. Currently, and if we look on like the 1 hour time frames, you can see it more clearly because bars close differently. Like, look, we'll go on the 1 hourly, and we'll say on the 1 hour time frame here, you can see it more clearly. But roughly, okay, we've bounced off of the 78.6 level so far. We've retraced. What I'm looking at is potentially an 886 retracement of this B wave. That would be a nice retracement, but a 78.6 could sure be a strong move. Especially, I don't know what kind of M formation this might make, but if it makes one like that bounds off of 78.6, then we've made that move, and we could be finding that the C wave of this next degree here. Otherwise, yeah, I'm looking for this 88.6. That would be a nice bounce off. And if we look at the 88.6 level and we compare it with the 1-to-1 for this A wave, if the A wave starts here and ends down here, okay, and we compare it with the C wave starting around here, we can see that a 1-to-1, all right, is right around the 88.6. They're both at about the 35.8, 35.9 region. So that could be a nice place for the price to bounce and go for this zigzag type of pattern, if that's what we are in fact seeing. Okay, if it's not what we're seeing, then obviously we're going to know that very soon. So I just thought I would give you that update. There's so many things I'd like to share, but you know, there's only so much time in the day, and this is more like a hobby than a job, really. And I thank you for being here. If you're enjoying it, But basically, that's the thoughts I have to share. You saw the levels where we might reach if we take this type of zigzag. And yeah, you saw where we potentially bounce. And I think it's at this point, if you get below that region and you start getting into this territory, then yeah, you're definitely in danger of something significant. And as I said before, you are retracing. At that point, you're retracing beyond a 61.8%. You're like into the lower end of this choppy territory. You're below this zone. You're below these ends of these candles, which is at like 35.5 or so, 35.4. Then yeah, then you're not in a zigzag type of zone, and so you're really not looking forward to it. So anyway, just some ideas, just some thoughts. I hope that serves you well. I'm gonna get out of that 4 hour. I mean, sorry, out of the 1 hour into the 4 hour, and we can just wonder what's coming next. So far, the theory is some sort of, like I said, A, B, C for our move. But having said that, I mean, having said that, this move was not a nice clean ABC in that way. It was probably a very nice flat. Well, if we talk about, see, that's the thing, we can't really talk about it as a flat if we use this point as a price point, because it didn't retrace it enough to be a flat in my estimation here. Let's take a look. Barely, like you could argue one way or the other. But for it to be such a weak B wave, then the C wave is super weak as well. Just doesn't make sense. So my sense is that these are not such simple Elliott waves, and that they are more complex and complicated than that, but that somehow imposing simpler patterns can be helpful at times when we correlate with other price action and things like that. If we want to correlate with some other indicators, we get a Bollinger Band. This is where we say, in fact, you would really want to be holding this level. Like, you don't want to be piercing too much lower, otherwise you're in a potential for a waterfall scenario like that. You just want to catch this lower end and then move higher. So maybe that's it. Maybe the 78.6 retracement from this wave here to here is enough, and it can be find the bottom here, and it can just bounce around a bit and then go higher. Other than either that or on a 4 hour level, it's going to get crushed more, and we are not seeing that zigzag pattern that I thought we were. And maybe instead what we're seeing is something more along the lines of an ABC flat this way, and we're not going much further than that. Okay, or maybe it'll go there, but that wouldn't be a zigzag, that's for sure, because of just the way it's shaped and counted. And anyway, so there's still that type of idea for sure. This is still within the cards as a 4 wave, and then we would still make our 5th C wave to wherever it seems like we'd be going. All right, so that's possible as well. You know, these kinds of ideas are abounding. It doesn't matter the path that we get there, but the general sense is, if we're not going to bounce here, okay, good likelihood we're going to bounce here. So just watch for it. But if you start getting below these levels and you're finding them as resistance, then it's time to prepare mentally and trade wise. Again, none of this financial advice, but then you would definitely be able to call something shorter there. But amidst that, you're in all of this traffic here still. So, but by that time, I mean, you're in that danger zone. So just be careful out there. At these levels, it's more so like a nice long spot into your non-custodial wallet that you own the keys, your coins, and off into the brighter future. Okay, I think that's it. I've talked enough here. Yeah, just this, if we want to check a time, like if we're coming towards the end of this move here. So yeah, I just I don't get the sense that that's what this is. Just doesn't seem, well, I mean, compared to this, yeah, it's like over 3 times as long. Just doesn't make sense. Okay, well, we're gonna see how this goes anyway. This wave is it's just a bit too big compared to this one. Which feels like that. Anyway, alrighty. So that's the thoughts so far on the BTC. I hope you're doing well. This is going to end it for us here. Until next time, yeah, I'm wishing you all kinds of love, peace, and happiness. And that's it for now. Goodbye.